Good morning, Chef Lizzie. I have a special favor that I'd like your help with today. Sister Elizabeth came to me and she said, I really want some new snack ideas. The good news is I like healthy foods like fruits and vegetables. The bad news is I have a real sweet tooth. So I was hoping you could help me make some snacks that would make the best use of Sister Elizabeth's love of healthy food and also indulge her in her sweet tooth. You up for that? Okay. We're going to start this morning by making banana oat bundles. The first ingredient is 1 cup of old-fashioned oats for old-fashioned Sister Elizabeth. The second ingredient is 1 cup of ground oats. Now I ground these oats in a food processor. You could also grind them in a blender. And if you don't have either one of those, you could just put them in a bowl, take a glass, a plastic one so it doesn't break, and smush them around so they look all ground up. I'd like you to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a teaspoon of baking powder. And while you stir that up, can you tell us what's one of your favorite fruits and what's one of your favorite vegetables?
One of my favorite fruits is strawberries, and one of my favorite vegetables is pickles.
And you want to stir that till it looks like it's all kind of evenly colored. That way we know the cinnamon and the nutmeg got all mixed in. Look good to you? Okay, then let's go ahead and add the liquid ingredients. I want you to add 1 cup of very ripe mashed banana. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And 3 tablespoons of canola oil. And can you go ahead and stir all of that together while I clear these out of your way? Do you have something that you like to bake a lot?
Well, during Christmas, this year we baked Mrs. Claus's cookies from a recipe in a book that we have.
What goes into Mrs. Claus's cookies? Anything special?
Well, when we got them out, it smelled like pretzels, but it was the molasses that we put in there, and it was nice and crunchy.
Okay. Keep stirring till you get all that liquid mixed in. Who taught you how to bake?
Mom.
Did your dad ever bake at home?
He makes the pizza.
I think I'm going to come to our house for dinner. Can we have pizza and Mrs. Claus's cookies? Maybe we should invite Sister Elizabeth since she inspired this session. I know that you'd like to be a baker when you grow up. What kind of things would you like to cook at your bakery?
Well, it's not going to be like the things that I sell. It's going to be like where people place orders for like birthdays or special occasions.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to have like some sweet stuff also in there.
Now, I know a lot of bakers have a specialty. What's your specialty going to be? The thing that people come to your bakery for?
Probably cookies and cupcakes.
I'm going for the cupcakes. Do you make chocolate with chocolate icing?
Yeah, we never made that before. But
That's what I have for my birthday every year. Okay, now that you have that pretty well mixed together, we're going to add our secret ingredient. Because she said she loves fruit, and we've got the banana in there, but she said she has a sweet tooth. So we're going to add just a little bit, 1/3 of a cup of chocolate chips. Go ahead and stir those in. Are there any people, like famous bakers, that you really like? Or people
well, I like the Sisters in Danville.
The Sisters in Danville, they are famous to be. Okay, great job. Looks like you have it all mixed together. The next thing we're going to do is drop that by teaspoonfuls onto a cookie sheet. I already have a liner on my cookie sheet so they won't stick, but if your cookie sheets aren't non-stick, you could always oil them lightly. So do you want to scoop a couple of those out for me, showing people how to do that? Now, Sister Martina, the sister that you talked about, the baker in Danville, she taught me how to use another tool to scoop out cookies and to make sure they're all the same size. And it's a little scoop like this. It's like a tiny ice cream scoop. Do you want to show people how you'd use one of these little scoops to scoop out cookies?
Add a little bit, maybe this one.
Excellent. Our next step is going to be that we're going to bake these cookies at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a break while they bake in the oven. Before we put these in the oven, I want you to just touch it real lightly with your finger and see what it feels like so you know how soft it is. That way, when we touch it after we've baked it for a little while, you'll know if they're feeling like they're done. When they're baked, they're already brown, so they'll only turn slightly browner. But the best way to tell if they're finished is to touch it very gently with your finger. And if it's not wet and smushy like it is now, then you know that it's done. And here's what they look like when they're all finished. Go ahead and touch one. You can feel that it's a little drier. And would you like to taste one? Go ahead.
It's banana-y.
It's banana-y. The fruit for Sister Elizabeth. Is it chocolatey? Do you think she'll approve? Okay. Let's go on and try a second recipe. Stop there. Chef Lizzie, we're going to make another fruit dessert that has a special sweet part to it to satisfy Sister Liz. The first thing we're going to do is take a peeled apple. Any variety of apple that you like will work well. And we're going to spread just a little bit of peanut butter all over the outside of it. Can you start that for me? Now while you're doing that, I know that some people feel very unsure about walking up and talking to the sisters. I even have heard that there are some parents who say, if you misbehave in church, you're going to have to go sit next to the sisters. Now I know you'd like to sit next to Sister Elizabeth, and you know there's nothing to be afraid of. What is it? What's one special quality that Sister Elizabeth has that you would like people to know about?
That she's not scary, and she's very nice, and she helps the poor people. So someone who helps other people isn't going to be mean and scary.
I think that's a perfect description of Sister Liz. Lots of people say that a really good snack should have 2 different kinds of foods in it, like a fruit and a protein. And in this case, it works perfectly because the peanut butter supplies protein and the fruit is already there. Now tell us what you're rolling those peanut butter coated apples in.
Frosted Flakes.
And do you have any good ideas about how we could smash them up?
You can either put them in a blender or you can take a plastic cup and
and smush all over. And you know what? If you don't even want to do that, you can put them in a plastic bag and jump up and down on it gently, or it will bust, and you will have crushed Frosted Flakes all over your floor. One of my favorite things about this snack is that you can even put it in the fridge and eat it the next day. Lots of times I don't like to eat apples the next day because they turn kind of brown on the outside, but because the peanut butter's on the outside, you can't tell that they're brown. And I think they taste like caramel apples the second day.
caramel apples are yummy.
I do think caramel apples are yummy. Let's pause for a quick taste test. Chef Lizzie approved? Now that you've tasted it, can you think of any other cereals that you could put on there other than Frosted Flakes?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That'd be good. Cinnamon apples are always good.
Or like Cheerios.
Crushed up Cheerios? I was thinking Rice Krispies might taste good too. And if someone in your family can't eat peanut butter, you could always use almond butter or pistachio butter or soy nut butter? We'll have to check and find out what Sister Elizabeth's favorite is.
I think these snacks are really good, and they can be either for breakfast or they can go in your lunchbox.
Hi, I'm Chef Lizzie's sister, and I like this food too.